Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of...
Now that's cinematic.
So on this show, we talk about the biggest headlines and news in the movie and TV industry. So let's jump into it. Let's not waste any time. All right, so there wasn't a ton of news this week. However, there was one big thing I'm going to talk about at the end. Spoiler, it's about Peacock, the streaming service, because we are all home and we are all streaming, so it's pretty important. It's pretty big news in the TV movie world. But let's jump into these other headlines really quick. This first one, HBO, they have their streaming services, HBO Max and their channels. They are producing a show called A World of Calm. Interesting name. I thought this was kind of interesting. It's A-list actors narrating stories. So the reason for this show is HBO is teaming up with the sleep app called Calm and Newtopia. Never heard of them. But they are diving into the realm of the health and wellness space. And what these shows are supposed to do is supposed to calm you into sleep. I hope you doze off. Some of the actors attached to this are Mahershala Ali, who just won a couple different Oscars in the last couple years, so he's pretty big. Idris Elba, Nicole Kidman, and Keanu Reeves. There's also a rumor that Cillian Murphy's on there, Cillian Murphy's number 3 on my man crush list. I love his acting. It's only my second episode, and you guys already know my top 3 favorite guys, which are Tom Hardy, Ryan Gosling, and now Cillian Murphy. I think it's interesting that they're making a show that is supposed to help you sleep. When, you know, I just had a baby, they keep telling us not to have the TV on because the sensors in the TV are supposed to keep you awake. It releases a chemical, whatever the term is. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But it does. It's not supposed to be on. TV's not supposed to be on to help you sleep. However, it helps me sleep. Next, headline. I thought this was very interesting. Animal Planet is not really in the news very much. However, they are jumping on the bandwagon of Joe Exotic. They're doing a documentary called Surviving Joe Exotic. Now, if you've seen The Tiger King on Netflix, which if you have Netflix, you probably have seen it, it's about this crazy guy who owns a zoo. And it's a lot about people owning tigers, the people that own tigers. This documentary is about the specific tigers that were under Joe Exotic. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty, that's content we don't know about, but we know enough about to capture us in. It's good content. The Animal Planet is jumping on. I think that's smart. Good for them. I probably will tune in on that. I don't know when it's supposed to come out. Set to air July 25th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So, next up, on the movie side, here's an interesting headline that just got greenlit at Netflix. The Russo brothers, if you know who they are, they made the biggest Avengers movies, Endgame and Infinity War, and a couple other MCU movies. They're big blockbuster directors now. They just got the green light from Netflix to make a movie called The Gray Man, and it is starring my boy Ryan Gosling, you know my love for Ryan, and Chris Evans, which they have a good working relationship with, obviously with the Avengers. So I think it's interesting that they are going to do this. I mean, Netflix has done a couple different big blockbusters on their streaming platform to capture people, and yeah, good for them. They're not amazing movies, but you know they're good enough for me to watch, and it's good. It's content. It's movies. I'll watch it. So if you're interested in that, big blockbuster coming there eventually. Again, this is early wrap, so don't expect it anytime soon. But there you go. Good news. Before I jump into this final big headline, I wanted to talk about some recommendations, some new content that has been released for streaming, so you can watch it right now. In my previous episode, I talked about Greyhound of Tom Hanks. It's the action World War II thriller that's on Apple TV. Hopefully you watched it. I did. It's not too bad. It's a good thriller. I mean, it gets compared to Saving Private Ryan and Fury, other World War II movies like it. It's not as good as them to me, but it's good. I thought it was good. Good content to watch right now. A show that I'm really in love with right now on HBO is Perry Mason. Fantastic show. Check it out. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it's a thriller. It's a murder mystery. So last one I want to talk about is on Hulu. Hulu released their original movie called Palm Springs with Andy Samberg. It's a great movie, great watch. I don't want to give too much away, but it's pretty good. It's a little indie comedy that kind of has a really interesting way of storytelling with the kind of a repeat. It's hard to explain. You got to watch it. Pretty good, actually. So check that out. Now, biggest headline. NBC Universal released Peacock. Now, if you don't know what this is, it is a new app you can download on almost all app stores besides Amazon and Roku. So if you have those, sorry, you cannot participate in this one. NBC Universal is a big company that owns a ton of stuff. Universal Studios, DreamWorks, Bravo, USA, a bunch of stuff. And they released their own streaming platform that has a lot of great stuff. Like the Bourne Identity movies, Jurassic Park, a lot of their sports stuff. My first interaction with Peacock is I'm a big soccer fan. NBC has the rights to stream the Premier League. So I jumped on it the first day it was released because it was streaming soccer games. It worked great for me. I thought it was awesome. And so that's my first reaction with it. The layout is very similar to me. It's similar to HBO Max. I think this is really interesting in this industry because up to this point, NBC Universal is the biggest studio that had not had a streaming platform for their content. Netflix was the only one streaming-wise, and I could say Hulu, that started in the game and just streaming other people's content. Now, obviously, they're a studio and they're producing their original content. But up to this, now in this industry, if you're a big studio and you don't have a streaming platform, you're not in the next process of where things are going in the movie and TV industry. Disney Plus jumped into the game this year. Disney owns a ton of stuff. MCU, ESPN. I mean, so much stuff. National Geographic, and now they have their streaming platform to put it all on display. I mean, HBO Max for Warner Media. I mean, they own Warner Brothers, HBO stuff. DC, I mean, they have their own stuff. Now that's HBO Max. I mean, CBS even has their own streaming stuff. They're kind of smaller, though. So NBC finally jumped into the game, and they have a lot of their big shows like 30 Rock, Parks and Rec. However, they don't have their biggest thing, which I think is the most attractive thing that they will have in the next couple months, is The Office. Now, The Office pretty much made Netflix what Netflix is, in my opinion. That's the most watched thing over the past 6 or how many years Netflix been around, and I think it's going to Peacock at the beginning of next year. So I think until then they probably won't be having a ton of people to watch. I mean, they have one original show called Brave New World. I have not watched it. If you've seen it, comment below. Give us your thoughts. And it's free. It's completely free, but there's a catch. There is content on there that needs to be purchased with a premium account, and that is $5 a month. I mean, compare it to Netflix, that's $8.99 a month, HBO Max $15 a month, Disney Plus $7 a month. So it's in the same ball game, but there's still ads with that. Then there's even another account or premium account that you can have, which is ad-free and with premium for $10 a month, which again is still cheaper than HBO Max. HBO would argue that they have better content, more original content. I think for now, as a free base of it, I think that's cool. I mean, I think other streaming platforms can learn from this. Netflix might do a free version that does ads on it. They get money from advertisers to produce content. I think it's smart. I think that's big news. If you're interested in this, check it out. Yeah. I don't have much more to talk about on this episode. Again, check it out. My other episode I did previous week. There was news and headlines for that. And that's my show. I'll see you later.
Now that's